Something you often hear when talking about Brexit is that it is the will of the people.
Ну-то прошел. Но что ей делать? Она должна исполнять волю народа, высказанную на референдуме.
And so what you've really got going on, and I think there's a big sense of this in the country, is that our politicians, despite all the promises they've made, are not honouring the vote of the people in what was the greatest democratic exercise in the history of our country.
According to them, stopping Brexit would be illegitimate and go against the will of the people. And having a second referendum on the topic would be undemocratic and undermine the authority of the vote of June 2016, which people often forget was a non-binding vote. If a referendum is truly the best way for people to express their will, then why stop them from expressing it a second time? This already happens through general elections. A new one is held every few years. That is because people change their minds, and offering them an opportunity to express that only seems natural.
So a second referendum is often talked about as very undemocratic, and in one way it's a good argument. I would suggest it's not undemocratic for three reasons. One is that if you can't change your mind, you don't live in a democracy. Changing your mind is the essence of democracy. Secondly, the 2016 referendum was itself a second referendum. This is completely forgotten. Nobody refers to this at all in the discourse about this. But there was a referendum in 1975 in the UK, which was to be the once and for all decision, are we in or out? And it was passed by 66% to 33%. I mean, the British voted to be in the European Union. So at the very least you could say, well, best of three, perhaps,
Should the UK also then stop holding elections every few years? If you believe that a second referendum can be manipulated by those who ask the question, then why accept the first referendum as legitimate in the first place? The Brexiteers who showcase themselves as champions of democracy are the very same ones who tried to circumvent the democratic and constitutional principles of the UK. Indeed, when the British courts found that the triggering of Article 50 EU would have to be voted on by Parliament in order to respect the constitutional principles of the UK, Brexiteers branded the judges as enemies of the people and expressed their discontent. Those Brexiteers who argue they have lost their sovereignty opposed one of the most important concepts of UK constitutional law, and that concept is parliamentary sovereignty. Parliamentary sovereignty issues aside, the claim that Brexit is the will of the people is a very odd one to make. The referendum's question was the following: should the United Kingdom remain a member of the European Union or leave the European Union? It only concerned membership. The question did not ask with what people would like to see EU membership replaced, and the reason why the referendum did not ask that question is because there are a multitude of possible post-Brexit scenarios. Those various possibilities are explained and summarized in a House of Lords report entitled Brexit Options for Trade. In that report, the possibilities are simplified into 4 different options. The first one is EEA membership, meaning the UK would remain a member of the single market and would therefore continue to ensure the free movement of people and would have a similar status as Norway. The second option is for the UK to have an agreement similar to the one Turkey currently has, meaning being a part of the customs union without being a part of the single market. The third option is for the UK to have a trade agreement similar to the one negotiated between Canada and the EU. And the fourth option is for the UK to leave with no deal. All these options have vastly different and complex ramifications. Some of these options would, for example, re-establish a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, which is something both parties do not want. The British people did not vote on any of these options, nor were those options presented to them at the time of the referendum in June 2016. The form Brexit should take was never decided by the people. The options presented by the House of Lords report all lead to very different things, and none of them were taken into consideration in the referendum.
We didn't vote for whatever negotiations may lead to. We didn't vote for a series of deals. We didn't vote because of some ludicrous projection of what may or may not happen to our gross domestic product. This was a vote about us taking back our country, taking back the ability to make our laws, taking back control of our borders.
And the issues seen with Brexit are some you can often find with referendums in general. Referendums lack the nuances necessary to deal with issues that could have very complex ramifications. You cannot hope to tackle an issue as complex as that of EU membership with a yes or no question.